Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. Cross the line in 3, 2, 1.
Ho, 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 ho.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling podcast. It's our holiday special, and it's going to look a little different, but we'll get into it. Max is already rolling his eyes. My name is Geoff, Geoff the Elf, I guess. And alongside me, as always, is the Max to my Grinch. It's Max, everybody. Max.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the dog. Good one. Okay, that's a good one. But you're not dressed like the Grinch. You're dressed like a giant green penis.
Yeah, I'm Buddy the Johnson. That's
okay.
What's your favorite color? Yeah.
The Johnson. So this time you're the one who brought up former NWA Tag Team Champions, the Johnsons.
First of all, no one knows what you're talking about because, and second of all, I'll tell you why. The second part of the Fall Classic got deleted because we haven't done it within 30 days. So we got to refilm it. But thank you to those who are watching the Fall Classic. Thank you to James Storms' family. Max is very excited that
Yeah. We apparently found out that James Storms' family listens to our podcast because when Jeff put up the AJ Styles versus James Storm theme song match, there was a point where James Storm was up like 60-40. And the only people that I can think of that could possibly think that James Storm's theme music is better than AJ Styles is James Storm, whoever wrote James Storm's theme music, and James Storm's family.
I think they're the same person. So maybe Dale Oliver's voting for both. I don't know. Either way, we got a lot on the plate tonight. You're probably wondering, let's get to that first, why the lovely Craig is joining us, Mr. Impact Blog, from What Went Down. Craig is now the producer of this show, and as part of that, I'm going to announce the schedule for the next month. Let Craig say hi really quick. Craig, what's going on, buddy?
Yes, it's me, it's MIB.
There you go. You can check out Craig on the TNAIW channel every Thursday with his review of the Impact on Access TV. Also, every Tuesday now is going to be Cody's preview show, Is It Tuesday, which is doing pretty well and really fun. We will be having Craig's review, what went down this week that was supposed to air during this as a break, which will be nice, as well as the power rankings, so stay tuned for that. We'll also have a commercial from our newest family member, Ashley Rose Nova. And you can see an intro of her new show, Impact to Call It With Us, which will air once a month. And then the biggest news, full circle to what we're talking about with Craig, we will be going live every Saturday night, 7:30 to 10 p.m. Everyone in our chat group, come on in for the live chat. It's going to be a great time.
I thought it was 7:30 to 9.
7:39, what did I say?
7:30 to 10.
More the merrier. Merrier.
Got those WWE pay-per-view schedules running. From 7:30 to midnight. Like, what?
Yeah, Wednesday to Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're not sick of us listening to us in 45 minutes, now the show will be an hour and a half. But the last 45 actually will be with Craig and us joined together, and we will be answering all of your questions that are in the chat during that time. So you could call into the show. Craig will let you through, pass you in, and we can Skype you in and answer your question, and hopefully they're appropriate. And we don't get any Johnson talk, which will disappoint Max, but
hey.
All right. So today we're going to go on and do our hot topics, which are really jam-packed. A lot of great stuff going on for Impact Wrestling. And then we're going to give away our superlatives, our 2020 Nonsensie Awards, our Nonsensies, I guess, like the Dundies or whatever they're called on The Office.
I never watched The Office, so I have no clue what they're called. What?
I think your microphone broke. What did you say?
I said I never watched The Office. You heard me correct the first time. Sorry.
I'd rather sit in awkward silence and be upset by this.
All right, let's move past it. Let's get to our question.
Okay, so anyways, yes, we'll be giving our Nonsensie Awards. We have 7 to give out. And our chat family has selected the winners. You guys will give them. Let's go to our break. Let's go to hot topics. I guess that means let's hurry up, and we'll be right back.
Ho, 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 ho.
Cody here. Just wanted to wish you all a season's greetings from me to you. What I would like to see from Impact in 2021 is more healthy partnerships that show up on Impact programs, like AEW with Impact and JPW with Impact. Just a few more healthy things to grow on. That's all I like to see. Thank you, and everyone have a good month, good season, good Christmas, good whatever you celebrate. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we are back from our break. I'm going to go ahead and start us with the first topic. Does having the AEW Championship on Impact TV hurt the Impact World Championship?
Okay, good one, Craig. So I don't see it. I don't see how it could on our end to value ours, because no one's really going for it, right? No one's trying to give a title shot, to my knowledge. But I can see where you're coming from, as far as, because Kenny Omega did say that this is Superman issue 1 as far as the AEW belt, and we're like Spider-Man issue 1. Still great, but not Superman issue 1, you know? So I can see on that end, yeah. But because the program is beginning with Swan, who's our champion, and Omega, who's theirs, I don't really see it as, you know, A and B, but more A and 2A or whatever.
So I actually have a lot to say about this, because I read a lot of stuff on Reddit. Yeah, where they were talking about how the way that Omega was basically talking down to Swan was basically he was just shitting on Impact. Tony Schiavone is just shitting on Impact. How he talked about the fact that they increased their rating their viewership from 1 person to 6, and how basically Kenny Omega is acting like he's the real world champion.
Well, let's to stick with that, because I think the Tony thing and all that will be later.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just in general, this is stuff that was happening. So I want to talk about this. So I think it all depends on how the outcome of all this. Now, if Kenny Omega comes in, goes one-on-one with Rich Swann and just shits on him, pins him clean, yes, it devalues the Impact Championship, because now your championship is less. But if it's built up right, and I have full faith in both Impact and AEW to make this work, and for them to make both of them look better in the long run. The way that they do this, in my opinion, here's how this should play out. So obviously the 6-man tag, Omega, the Good Brothers against Motor City Machine Guns and Swan. Swan picks up a pin on one of the Good Brothers. This gives Swan a win. It also lets him talk about the fact, oh, I beat you, Kenny Omega, but Kenny Omega still has the whole, you never pinned me, I'm still the best. So he still gets to keep his aura of I'm better than you, but it gives Rich Swann a win. The end match for this, the way it should end, is in a time limit draw. To the point where both of these guys, neither one of them loses. They wrestle for 30 minutes. It ends in a draw. And you walk out saying both of them are world champions. Both of them are great. Both titles are on the same level. That's the way it should happen. And then it doesn't devalue either product. They walk out both looking like they're equal, which is what it should be. So that, to me, as long as you don't have Kenny just steamroll whoever, whether it's Swan or somebody else, then I don't think it's going to hurt Impact.
Yeah, well, I think we have a lot on this, and I don't want to get off too far because we'll go back to it. There's a lot that I don't have much to say about the title itself. I think what you just said is brilliant in the sense that, that's something you don't rarely see. And if it's something you rarely see, it's something that should be used in a situation like this, where you're trying to get both people over. I see, yeah, I get that logic and I understand that. But to wrap up that question before we, move on to the other AEW one down the line, I can't see the Impact World World Championship getting devalued here unless this whole Moose thing. I think the TNA Heavyweight Championship has more of a chance of devaluing the Impact one than the AEW.
Okay.
Because, and I actually won't get into why. We'll save that for the next topic or that time.
Okay. So next topic. Where would you rank the Eddie and Sammy feud in the best feuds of company's history?
Ooh. Yeah. It didn't click until a while back. It clicked a little bit because you saw them pass in the background, but not really have any feud in modern times. In the past year, are we that long of a time frame? I don't know. But it's very Raven Dreamer-esque to me, right? Besides, they both get pins on each other, but they are the constant need and balance for Impact. That's why I don't think Sammy will go anywhere. I'm pretty positive he doesn't. They are our foundation, and they will be the Sting and Ric Flair of Impact in my eyes. I think that's going to happen because they're the hand that's always there to fall back on. Shit hits the fan, you give it to Eddie like it just happened. You needed to get off Tessa, who defended once in a blue moon. It was nice to have it on someone who will defend it every time, and that will be Sammy or Eddie. But as far as it clicking, as far as it being as big of a feud to everybody else and not just me pigeonholing it as a Raven Dreamer thing, as a ECW mark, I started to see in our chat group a lot more people start saying like, oh, the return of Eddie, and they'll be doing this forever. So there's a lot of that vibe of not bored with it, not oversaturated, but looking forward to the growth of each character when they intersect. And I like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that I do agree. It is very similar to the Raven Dreamer one in the sense that they don't need an actual bout for their feud. It's not one of those feuds that, they've wrestled 20 times, but it's always for a title. If it's not for a title, there's nothing behind it. So there's enough storyline in there that they don't need that. And I do agree that the interesting thing is each time they meet back up, what's changed character-wise? Because they are always developing and changing as characters. That scene, it's the same feud, but I guess I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. But it's the same feud, but the characters have evolved and changed. I think that's interesting. It's like Doctor Who. It's the same show, but there's always a different doctor. That's right. I guess that's the best way to explain it, is something like that, to where it's the same feud, but the characters have evolved each time. So therefore the feud it doesn't seem like it's the same feud over and over again.
Stale. Yeah. It never gets stale. And that's the great thing, is because I think these guys can evolve continuously. I don't think they'll be Sting one for 15 years and then turn into Joker Sting, but I think they will be able to gradually tweak their character as they have, and it feels fresh and new. Now Alicia's in on it. So I love it. I would say, as far as to actually answer the question, you got to put AJ Daniels up top.
That's what I was going to say is my best one.
And then maybe after that, depending on what.
I really liked Angle and Jeff Jarrett when they were. I thought that was a really well,
because it crossed that personal line in real. Now this Eddie and Sammy one has not in real life crossed it, besides the bat to the fucking eye, for lack of better terms. But it had, it had made it feel real. There's layers to it without needing that. So I would rate it above that, but in that realm of top 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So next one, Jake Crist is a free agent. Will this prove to be a mistake?
No. Look, I like Jake as much as the next person. He's like a redneck ball Santa. That's what he looks like to me. But
I thought you said ball Santa. I was like, what the hell is a ball Santa? And then I realized you said mall.
Mall Santa.
Yeah.
He
just like,
just
what?
He just has a grungy Ohio look. That's nothing against him. I love his work. I think he's a good on the mic, or at least entertaining. But he's 38 years old, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we lost a diamond in the rough that we found, and we developed him. He's a great hand. He'll be great in any company he goes to. I think he was unfortunately a victim of his brother's doing. And it really affected him, which is unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because it had nothing to do with him and his wife, who is still in Impact. So
who's his wife?
Nevaeh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I wish him the best, and I think he'll be a great hand somewhere. But do I think he's gonna break the internet? No.
I mean, I agree. I'd like to keep him. I think he's a good worker. I was trying to pull up their website, but everything's being weird, so I could see like their entire roster. But for the most part, I don't think there's many people that I would consider like, if you lose this person, you're in trouble. I think Eddie and Sammy are in that group. I think Swan might be in that group at this point.
I think so.
For the women, they're really deep there. I really like Deonna Purrazzo, but I don't know if she's so big that you can't replace her with someone. Their roster is almost deep to the point that anybody who leaves, you can have somebody step up. So I don't think even though they have so many good women, that I don't think anybody would be detrimental. This isn't like when they had Gail Kim, and if you lost Gail Kim, you're like, oh my God.
Right. Where's the
and even though
with the knockouts, really quick, Rosemary and Taya are running up right now, and they might leave at the end of the year. I would say that sentimentally, that's a big loss. But to your credit, you're correct that we have a shark's teeth of a roster, which is you lose one. It's built like that for a reason, I think.
And although I think from a tag team standpoint, losing either the only two would be losing either the Good Brothers or Motor City Machine Guns. I think those would be your two tag teams that if you lose, that's going to really hurt. But outside of that,
Brothers or
what? Yeah, if you lose, yeah. So I think in those situations, I mean, there's a lot of really young talent that if you lost would suck, but I don't think it's a situation where they can't be replaced. Impact has a lot going on, and they've proven to be a company that people can come into and shine. So I think there's very few situations in Impact that if you lose somebody, they can't either have somebody in Impact or bring somebody in to replace you.
But to that point, and to play devil's advocate here, because this is the time to ask this question. So kudos to you, Craig. But is it detrimental that we lose or that we lost him? No. But it brings up the point, like you're saying, is there anyone that we could lose that would be detrimental? And I think right now is that crop of free agents for us to ask this question. Because yes, not many people's contracts are running up that would be detrimental right now. But Ethan Page, if his runs up now, which it is in January, Rosemary, Taya, Sammy, even though they can be replaced in a way, still be missed, but replaced, these are the people that you want to show other companies you can keep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because now you're bringing in the Good Brothers. You brought back Motor City. Knock on wood, Angle will be back soon. There's a bigger ploy with Sting. Trust me on that. So there's all these good things coming. You have to show the wrestling world that now you could keep your own. Ethan Page is probably that first person that comes to mind, besides Sammy maybe, that really has tooted the Impact horn on a regular basis. So keep him. Don't let him go elsewhere. But it'll be interesting with AEW's partnership, what happens with all of that. But
yeah, I agree. All right, next question is a double question. Madison Rayne is reportedly leaving. So one, will she eventually return? And 2, who should replace her?
So we talked about it last night on Twitter there that I mentioned that she's speculated to leave. She accepted a full-time job, allegedly outside of wrestling business, probably to stay home closer to her kids and all that, or kids, excuse me, in her home in Tennessee. Are they in Tennessee? I think they are. Or Josh. So good for her. For someone who honestly came in 2009, I believe, to Impact, or 2006. I think 2009 or 6. I can't remember. I think 2009. She came in as a green, a little bit timid, not confident knockout, and she's walking out as, I think, a not borderline, but a definite Hall of Famer.
I agree.
And she's done everything you can in Impact, not only holding that title, not only holding the tag titles, be the first woman to regularly, I can't ever say that word, be a commentator, and a good one at that. She had the talk show. I think there's not much left for her to do. And for her to do this, will she pop in from time to time? If Josh is there, why not? She's still a legend of Impact here. But as far as filling that spot, I know I loved I for one liked Matt Striker a lot when he was with Josh, because what it did was change Josh's tone. He was a little lower. He was a little more his natural voice and more about the wrestling. I really enjoyed that aspect. But the problem with that is if you have Striker doing that, unless you had a third person, that puts Josh on color. And Josh is a heel color or regular color. I don't know if I like it as much. But that would say Josh doesn't have a job anymore. And I don't wish for that. If we were to honestly do what I think would be best for hype or for the production and the product itself, I think you throw big money at Mauro Ranallo, or whatever how you pronounce his name, and you throw him in with maybe Josh and Striker as a 3-man team, maybe a Callis. Because I think his voice is something that has captured the internet. Maybe not me per se.
Tope Suicida!
You don't. Yeah, I'm not saying that's what I would do personally, but as far as get a buzz, maybe that would do it. Maybe there's something playing out here where, JR is getting shit on in AEW and is sticking up for, good wrestling. Maybe I don't want that, but I'm just saying that the timing of all this, and who knows what door this opens. But preference-wise, I don't know.
So for me, I agree with what you said about her. Like, Madison should be, like, when she retires, she should be in the Hall of Fame, like, instantly. I do think she'll come back periodically from time to time, just kind of do things, maybe for a pay-per-view or something here or there. I think it's hard to stay away, especially when you don't need to come back. I think that's when people tend to come back, when it's like The Rock. The Rock doesn't need to come back to WWE, but he periodically does to help them out just because he enjoys it. So I think it'll be something like that. In regards to who I think they should replace, I love Mauro Ranallo. I think he's great. I watched him on Pride back in early 2000s. I think maybe mid 2000s. But I watched him in Pride. I've loved him there. I loved him in NXT. I like watching him, everything he does. But I think it should be Don Callis.
You think so?
100%. Like, Don Callis, he's a character, and to me, that is what you need. You need somebody like very seldom when you had JR and King. King was that character. I think that Don Callis is that character, especially if he's backing with Kenny Omega. Imagine him just talking about how great Kenny Omega is when Kenny Omega hasn't been on the show in 3 weeks. Like that.
No, I'm okay with that. You're right.
Like, that continues to bring that storyline.
Right, and it's kind of like it's reminiscence of the NWO days of having Bischoff on commentary.
Yeah.
But what I really like, and the problem I think a lot of people have with Callis, is he's not putting over Kenny Omega. He's not putting over most of the talent. he's putting over himself. And yes, that's a great character, but when we have all these guys who need you to put them over, that's a little harsh. So maybe a balance there where you have a striker, Josh Callis, and that means you have striker as your professor or Mike Tenay kind of knowledgeable person. You have Cole or, Josh as your Cole, essentially. And then Don as your Bobby Heenan or Jim or Jerry Lawler, whatever you want to call it.
And then imagine this. You get Tony Schiavone, who's shitting on Impact on Wednesday. And you got Don Callis, who's doing nothing but shitting on Tony Schiavone on Tuesday nights. Like, that's all he does. He just spends the whole episode just shitting on Tony Schiavone. Now, I would watch. I'd tune in just for that.
Do you want to roll into topic 5 then? Because I know
we can. Okay. I don't have topic 5 though. It didn't get sent.
It was the Craig. Do you want
to? Okay. So, given the whole Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone thing on Impact on a weekly, in 2021, are Tonys going to become the new Karens?
Okay. So first of all, great job, Craig. And don't be sad for Craig. He's just sitting there a little bit doing the time right now. But when the chat rooms are going and you guys are interacting, he'll be more than occupied. So he's fine. Plus it's 1 o'clock in England, so you're tired. Yeah, anytime. So to answer your question though, because I know we are on time. Yes, the answer is yes. And in our chat group, and also just generally on a lot of the Twitter, I see a lot of people complaining about Tony shitting on us. So I shit back on AEW because even though we are pro wrestling, they are now changing the narratives smartly, mind you. They are changing the narrative from Impact really does suck to Impact sucks, which is a great play. It's smart. Let me tell you, I don't think All Elite Wrestling still stands for Anthem exhibitions and wrestling. I don't. But I will tell you this. If you were Don Callis or Scott D'Amore and you came up with a master plan to resurrect Impact, their 5-year plan has worked all the way along, and I'm sorry for losing faith. And I'll tell you why. Not only did AEW come out, say they're best friends. I'm talking Jericho is there, Kenny Omega, they're both there. Young Bucks are good friends with them. There's a lot of people there that are, I wouldn't say sympathetic, but willing to work with Don Callis and give him, a little rub, right? So you have that working for you. The only way Impact sheds the narrative of what it has is if you hit that sweet spot that we're in right now. You gradually have been getting Impact to be more steady and a better product and run more money in there and bring more buzz. You sign the big talent that's coming. You're not the level AEW by any means when it comes to American television, but you sure as hell are internationally. So what you do is you make them collide eventually. These people here can now give you the rub to make you look good in the States and vice versa. Because Impact still is, I don't care what anyone says, they're the number 2 promotion outside of the United States. It's New Japan, that is what it is.
Number 1 over here.
Number 1 over there as well. So everything is coming together. I don't believe in coincidence. But to answer the question first before I go on the tangent, this is what I was alluding to earlier. I think everything Tony and Tony says is fucking, excuse my language, pre-calculated, pre-agreed upon, everything. Do you think Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, who have taken this company from GFW bullshit to where we are now, are going to say, yeah, Tony and Tony, send me a video of anything you want and we'll play it because you're letting us have Kenny Omega for a day? They don't do that. It's not good for AEW because what does it get for them for? Nothing. And what does it do for Impact? Nothing. But if you use it as a storyline and you're starting to build that divide from the get-go, you can only assume this is going to go to one thing, which is I would imagine World War III type of thing. I still think that.
So this is exactly what the WWF did with ECW, where King came extremely crappy wrestling. He shit on it. They came in, they took over, they beat up WWE superstars, they wrestled. Like, it's the same thing. Why does it? Now, Vince was doing it because he was eventually going to hijack all these guys. And it made sense that when the Dudley Boys come over, for people to be like, who didn't watch each other, be like, oh yeah, I saw them on Raw a couple months ago. I know who these guys are.
They feed each other.
Yeah, it gives ECW the benefit of getting eyes on them and then people watch them. It's the same thing here. AEW is basically allowing, they're like putting this in, they're saying, hey, if we ever sign anybody from Impact, people are going to know who they are. If we decide to do if we decide to work together, similar to how New Japan and ROH did, and we do talent exchange, people know who they are. Like, it's a benefit for both companies because you just say, hey, let's just work together. And then it especially allows guys who aren't necessarily getting on the main TV for Impact, they can go wrestle on AEW Dark. For AEW Dark, they can bring some of their guys and say, hey, this guy isn't getting on AEW. Would you like to do something with him on Impact? Yeah, we can put him in a storyline. So you can trade things like that.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think they'll put battling things on Tuesday nights.
No, I'm just talking about.
I see what you're saying though, but
yeah, just like you can exchange talent and everything.
I said it from day one of when this started to happen. I really, really believe that it's been in the cards since day one. Maybe not. Maybe it's my, overthinking here. But if everything aligns right, wonder if they pulled that WCW WWE storyline. You beat us on Tuesday nights, and you get the time slot on TNT. There has to be something here. Kayfabe, storyline-wise, however you want to word it, to where they have a reason to fight.
Yeah.
AEW is only shooting digs at Impact because they have to show that they are the Goliath.
Yeah.
Why would Tony Khan have anyone from Impact on AEW? It doesn't help their narrative, right?
And I'll tell you what the next step is in all this. Because remember, so anybody who listens know I predicted that Anderson and Gallows were going to Impact long before anybody else did. My next big prediction, Anderson and Gallows and Kenny Omega just rejoined up and talked about how they're the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club is recently talking, if I remember correctly, about it's not for life. You're with us now. Ever. It's not. Like, they're basically like, look, we're Bullet Club now. I fully expect the Bullet Club to show up on either Impact or AEW when Kenny Omega and Anderson and Gallows are talking about how the Bullet Club. I expect you'll see Tama Tonga come walking out with either his brother and somebody else, or I don't know who the leader is. It's not Jay White anymore. It's somebody else.
It's going to be Kent.
But either way, I expect them to show up and be like, "No, you guys aren't the Bullet Club. We're the Bullet Club," and then you start a feud that way. That's my next big prediction.
And I think you're 100% correct. And I'm going to double down on this. There's a reason Josh is wrongly calling TJP and other people's moves the go to sleep and all of these things. They are pushing these things on commentary because Kenta's move, who is now the leader of the Bullet Club, who is just in the States, his finisher is the go to sleep, which then CM Punk stole and used himself.
It's Evil now is the leader, apparently.
Evil is the leader of Bullet Club?
Bullet Club, allegedly, according to Wikipedia. But Kenta's there. He's one of them.
I don't know where Kenta is. All right.
But,
so anyways, I think Kenta comes here. I think you're right. I think it happens on AEW. I doubt it happens on Impact that they form that. But I think Bullet Club will be the connecting piece between AEW and Impact. And then on the other hand, you have Eric Young. I know we're going on a separate thing. Eric Young is building his group of people that keep saying, we have already been infected. We are the cure. These people already infiltrated our system. He's talking about the Bullet Club. That's what it has to be. And now you're going to have your two people. This is going to be a great time in professional wrestling because even if none of this shit happens, we at least are getting hype talking about it. And that's what.
And I'll say one more prediction. And then the person that comes back to mend the fences of the Bullet Club is Fergal. When he eventually realizes that there's nothing for him to do in WWE, he'll come back. I'd say it's going to be AJ, but AJ ain't leaving. He's WWE for life.
No, he's not. Once he's 43 and he gets out of his contract, or 47 or whatever he will be.
He'll be like Sting, and his hair will come falling down from the rafters, and then they'll lower him down because
it'll be like Jericho without the cocaine. Yeah, it'll be good. Bloated fuck. So
that's my next prediction: is that the Bullet Club comes in, and the actual Bullet Club comes in and fights them.
Yeah, Prince Fergal. What did that come from originally?
Fergal?
That we make fun of that.
Oh, it was Becky Lynch talking about him. Fergal, like she was talking about. It was something on the network, but she's talking about him, and she was like, Fergal.
It wasn't from him, Fergal. I don't know where the hell we are in time. This is going crazy. We got time, Craig, or what's going on here? We got time? All right, before we go to superlatives, let's see what you have to say. What do you think, bud? What do you think? Not obviously, I know you wrote the question. You think Tonys are the new Karen, but what do you think? Any of this is plausible?
Yeah, I think Bullet Club coming in. I think more than a possibility. Maybe with the Super X Cup coming up, Kenta's a part of that.
That's what I said.
That's how he comes in. I can see that working. I mean, I think at the minute, Tama Tonga is pretty much the leader of the Bullet Club. Not on like in their TV, but he's pretty much leading the whole thing.
He's the one who does all the talking. He's the one.
Yeah.
What did he put? Hold on, let me find what he said.
And obviously, Tangaloa, aka Micah. Well, he might come up for Super X Cup as well. He could be part of the X Cup. You know, it's New Japan.
I think Sonata is back.
Yeah,
Sonata or Ishimori. Yeah.
3 days ago, this is what Tama Tonga posted on Instagram. It's him and Kenny Omega, basically when he kicked Kenny Omega out. And then what else has he posted?
Yeah, maybe he's saying he doesn't want them to be part of it. But no, I think it's more so that they're working together. I think you're right on that. I know the proof is in the pudding, but every time these little hints come out, it tends to happen, right? I think the biggest thing, and this is where I'm doubling down, and then we'll go, Craig, you could have another second if you want. Sorry. I think CM Punk eventually does come. And I'm not a mark for CM Punk. I do like him. I followed his career since day one. But I think the landscape of wrestling is going to change. And it's going to be some interesting things because from what I hear, the USA Network is not very happy with WWE Raw's ratings. So I could see some big Vince is going to have to move over or move up or push the quality of the content up. So we're in store for a really good time. And Craig, I'll let you talk us out, and then we'll go to throw it to another holiday greeting and Ashley commercial there.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the Bullet Club, we can't forget over the past few months, Bullet Club, New Japan members of the roster have been saying that they would want to work with Impact. Tama Tonga has had a few interviews where he said that a New Japan Impact relationship would be great for both companies. The track exchange between those two means everyone's been fancy booking this for ages.
Yeah,
And you know, the thing to hype on that, the New Japan thing, I'm glad that he said that. If he said that about it working for both, because it's true. People don't want to admit it, but let's not lie and say, or let's stop the lies where everyone's saying, "Oh, I can't find Impact." You didn't have a hard time finding New Japan when it was on Access TV. So if they want to admit it or not, New Japan being on Access TV was good for them.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see them back on because that's the thing. That's why they fired their president. One of the reasons was they weren't happy with, not only were they stopping because they were bitter potential relationships with Impact and AEW, but they lost their time slot. They left because Impact took the channel, and so I think it works for both.
And it was 6 days ago that Tama Tonga tweeted, "If you're not Bullet Club in 2020, you're not Bullet Club." Like, there's just too much. And then on this week, they talk about there's too much going on. They're coming and they're gonna fight them. So when I'm right about that, then we'll see what my next great prediction is. I'm like the Nostradamus of Impact Wrestling.
As long as when they come, it's not Abyss, Hogan, and Hardy, Jeff Jarrett.
It'll be.
All right, guys. So we're gonna kick it to another holiday greeting. We'll be right back, and we'll do our. Well, actually, we're gonna go to the holiday greeting, a commercial, and then Craig's what went down, a preemptive version of that. Obviously, you'll see his clothes are different, and then or maybe not. I don't know if you filmed it today. And then we'll be back with our Nonsensie Awards that you guys voted on.
It's Ashley Rose Nova here, wanting to wish you a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, wherever you are. Good evening, good morning, good night, whenever you see this. And of course, subscribe, tune into our channel, which is Talking Nonsense About Impact Wrestling, which is TNAIW. And of course, get ready for my upcoming show in 2021, which is called Impact Occult, where we will be discussing various things of Impact Wrestling. The strange, the obscure, the crazy storylines that we have. So, if you love Impact, you love wrestling, come and check us out. Give us a follow. Merry Christmas once again, and a happy holidays to you. You enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world.
Thanks, guys. Yes, it's me, it's MIB Craig, aka Mr. Impact Vlog for the TNAIW Channel. And this is a special kind of edition of What Went Down. A very, very short and quick What Went Down. This week on Impact Wrestling, in the final episode of the year, if you don't count the award shows at the end. But this is the final wrestling show of the year. And it was, once again, a very, 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 very interesting show. We had Tenille Dashwood taking on Alicia Edwards in the opening match, of which Tenille Dashwood will pick up the win after a semi-distraction from Sami Callihan, although he didn't appear to the end of the match. Of course, distraction. Tenille took advantage of this and picked up the win with a spotlight kick. Then Chris Bay defeats Manic via disqualification due to Rohit Raju attacking Chris Bay because out of frustration for not helping him unmask Manic and get back his X Championship. Then in the first semi-final of the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament, we have the favourites Steels and Hogan going over Taya and Rosemary, thanks to the help of the Knockouts champion Dana Perazzo and her curator Kimber Lee. Of course, it's going to be a good match. Always is a good match for those two teams. Not surprising here, Tasha and Kira go over onto Rosemary, onto the final now, a Hard to Kill. And then in the match, which surprised a lot of people, Brian Myers defeats Josh Alexander via DQ, thanks to the hands of none other than the Karate Man. Yes, another alter ego of all ego. The Karate Man popped up after being attacked by Myers and kicked Brian Myers in the face. Hey, why not? It's wrestling. It's Impact Wrestling. In the main event, the Machine Gun Carl Anderson defeats Chris Sabin in a fantastic match. Two of the best in Impact right now. Enjoyed every second of that one. Then, as I'm sure you were, throughout the night, we were shown little backstage things, mainly involving Kenny Omega, also involving Rich Swann and Carl Anderson, and Machine Gun Scott Matter. Yeah, all kicked off, and after the match, after Machine Gun rolled up Sabin and grabbed the tights, Rich Swann didn't agree with that. He said, "Why do you need to cheat? You're a champion, you don't need to cheat." Then backstage, the Big LG returns and kicks the hell out of Rich Swann's face, sends him flying. Well, of course, the Machine Guns decide they need to help out. In they come. They get laid out by the Good Brothers, and Kenny Omega makes it into the building this time and hits Rich Swann over the head with a cleaning in progress sign. Which then, Omega sees three of them on the ground. He sees two guys behind him, making that three, and decides to make a match. At Hard to Kill, in the main event, it will be the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, taking on the Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns. Bunkhouse makes it official. That was that. Okay. Thank you for watching. This is another short segment. We're going to throw to to the power rankings, and then we'll carry on with our end of year show for the TNAIW podcast. Thank you for watching what went down for this entire year, for all the things we've done. We appreciate you, and we'll see you all in the new year. Take care, everyone.
All right, guys, we're back. And we're going to end this with our 2020 Nonsensie Awards. We will be back in 2021, as we said, with live shows every Saturday night, 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And that will be midnight to 2 a.m. for Craig.
Nine-ish.
Nine-ish, yeah. Because we're going to go under on this one. We'll get it. Once we have you guys in the chats, I'm sure the show will either go longer or on time. So we have 7 awards to give away. The way we voted on this was we voted as the rest of the TNAIW staff did, and then obviously to you guys who are in our chat group voted and nominated everybody. So thank you for that. And if you guys want to be part of it, it's an easy way to get instant, updates on Impact stuff. You can post any of your podcasts, videos, YouTube, whatever you want on there. It's a great community, and I love doing it. I love talking to you guys out there. It's really awesome, even if you frustrate me sometimes, but that's the point, right? We talk, we banter. At the end of the day, we all have the same common goal. We love professional wrestling. With that being said, let's give our nonsensies out. Our first one we're giving out is going to be the Pastime Nonsensie, which is the award for our favorite segments of 2020. The 3 most voted choices were Wrestle House, the Treehouse segments, and Locker Room Talk. Fair enough. I know Craig had mentioned that bomb-ass segment where Susie and Sue Young had that moment, right? That
Right.
I would have voted that, but I had to choose the Treehouse, of course. And the winner of that was the Treehouse. Treehouse segment 1. It was most voted for. Kind of bittersweet in a way, but deserving.
No, I think it's. I definitely think it's the best segment. I think it's a. I mean, the Rascals probably don't care, but it's a nice send off from us to them.
Oh, each person will be tagged with their own little fake trophy, so don't worry.
Okay, and they'll care. Let's be realistic. It's probably the only gold they'll get while they're in WWE. So
no, that's no.
Nothing against them.
Oh, good for you, Rascals. You do you, man. Come back home later. Jesus, Craig, are you happy with Treehouse segment winning?
Yeah, I mean, you're not expecting it, but when it comes on, it always makes you laugh. It's a good segment. They're good segments. It's the Rascals. I could go longer on this, but I think they are one of the biggest mistakes Impact's made in terms of booking.
I gotta agree
Fair
with
enough.
that. I think they should have been built. I think they should have been booked like stars.
That's a top. Well, you know what? We have time. The only reason I disagree, and I love all three of them, obviously for not only just their wrestling ability, but their personalities. They're good dudes, good-hearted guys, fun to interact with. And the segments were some of my favorite. RVD coming there, the Moose ones, the Suicide. There's just been some really good shit that's happened on there. Wrestle House 2, great graphics, great show. But Treehouse, with them, the reason, even though that hit with a lot of people, and they're like, oh, the Rascals should be taken like, oh, there's something more than just jobbers, you know? They have the talent, they had the ability, but it wasn't all put together. And you could tell that in their intro, in their trunks, in their gear. And I know you're big on gear, so you'll agree with me on that, Max. They just never put it all together. And then you bring in the Good Brothers in Motor City, which, hey, man, sorry, at the end of the day, they're going to be priority. And what you do for the Rascals is you say, hey, go make your money, go get polished, come back home. We love you. That will be your chance to do it. But we don't have the time or energy right now to build you guys up. And that's a shame. But when you bring in good people like they have, someone unfortunately gets put to the wayside.
Yeah, but my only statement with that is, one, the entrance and the gear, that's on Impact. Like, you should produce. Tommy Dreamer got the greatest gear of all time, according to him, when he got that shitty ass dragon. But they made that for him most likely. Like, they should be the ones to be like, hey, we're gonna get you guys in gear that makes you stand out. We're going to be the ones to help you with the entrance, because they were there long before the Good Brothers and the Motor City Machine Guns got there. So by the time Good Brothers and Motor City got there, these guys already should have been up there with the North saying, hey, these are our two big tag teams. Now you guys have to deal with them, as opposed to, hey, these guys look like these guys are missing something.
I agree with you, but think about it. Backstage, you got to think of that as well. Just like in sports, their contract plays a part in this. I know if I don't sign you to an extension by trade deadline, I'm probably trading your ass.
That's impossible. That's a possibility.
You do what you got to do, unfortunately.
See, I said before on here, they pushed the wrong Rascal as a single star. Dez should have been the X-Division champion, Super X Cup winner, and they did nothing with him.
Yeah, but there was an Impact. There's a lot backstage with that we won't get into, but there was, we don't see everything. We'll just say that.
That's true.
I agree with you. I like Dez, but I think when you have a 32-year-old Dez, which isn't old by any means, younger than us, us, you choose the guy who's 22 and might stick around and push him, as I think is what you do. If you don't think Wentz is that guy, then you have to choose someone out of that group, right, to be the single star. But you're right. As far as put together singles wrestler, Dez can go. Like, they all can, but Dez is polished. He's legit. All right, so our next Nonsensie we're going to give is the Grinch of the Year award. Grinch of the Year award, and that goes to the best heel of this year of 2020, not named coronavirus. So we have the 3 finalists that you guys had nominated. Were EY, which surprised me, just because he was here for such little time, but I think he's doing good work, so I agree there. Sami Callihan, which should be here every year, I imagine. And Rohit Raju, I was happy to see.
What?
Yeah, well,
How is Tessa not on that list? She literally stole the championship. She is the Grinch. She took that shit and took it up to Mount Crumpet and chucked it off the edge.
EC3 though.
Like, come on now, but like, she stole their title. It's the heeliest motherfucker in the whole company.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I won't say you're wrong. But out of the people we want to mention, these were the 3 finalists.
Kayfabe heel.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm sure there's other people we could think of on the company that were the Grinch. Killer Cross comes to mind. No,
where's Joey Ryan? He's a pretty big heel.
Oh God. So let's
Can I get some write-ins? This is our best segment ever.
He's the only person that does a dirty deed and asks for money in return. Like, I know I just took out your kneecap, but come on. He's like, come on. All right. Anyways, let's get back on track here. So we had Rohit, Sami, and EY. The winner, drum roll, Sami Callihan, Grinch of the Year.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's been great. He's such a good character. So I think it just makes sense that he's your winner. Consistently good, consistently elevates everybody else. Now, I like Ken Shamrock and Impact, but let's be serious. This little run with Sami is probably his best work as far as character and promo and all of that. He's back to being the world's most dangerous man. I'm in my zone kind of shit, and I dig that. So, and that's partially Sami's rub, I feel like. So,
yeah.
Thoughts?
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, the reason I chose Sami was because of what he did to the Rascals. That is a massive heel move, actually. And if the crowd there would have got a lot of heat.
Yeah. I mean, they say goodbye, they come out, it's emotional, and I agree. That alone, it was a good reason to vote. So, let's see what's next up. Next up is Santa's Little Helper Award. What that is everyone nominated one person from Impact Wrestling roster that they would want to be tag team partners with. In life, and I don't know, maybe in wrestling, if you become a wrestler. And the only person to get multiple votes, Johnny Swinger. Johnny Swinger is the winner of, and mine was one of them. I can't lie.
I would have said Tenille.
Said Tenille.
I'm just saying. You asked who I want to be tag team partners with.
I said Sabin, right?
I mean,
what's that?
I said Sabin, right?
Oh, you said Sabin, yeah.
I mean, was it
Sabin?
EY won the women's tag title with ODB. Why can't I win the women's tag title with? I'm just saying,
That's fair.
See?
One day, Max with an M.
My God.
So congratulations, Johnny Swinger.
Oh, I love that character, by the way. That's the greatest.
Caleb
with a K. The best part is his real name is Caleb with a C. Like that's to me. Like.
Good. All right. Next up is one of my favorite ones to debate, and Max, you as well would like this. It's called New Gear Who Dis? And again, the Nonsensie for that, we have 3 repetitive people who got votes, or 3 people who got repetitive votes. Number 1 was Moose. I like that. Number 2 was Deanna, which was surprising to be that high up. And then Taya was number 3.
So this is just who has the best gear?
Best year-round gear, changes it up, Yeah.
I really like Deanna's gear a lot, but Taya just does something super extra. Now, I guess, do you consider the TNA championship as new gear? It's an accessory.
It is a beautiful white belt. Yes.
Yeah, it looks so good in white. Oh god, it looks good in white.
So,
All belts look better in white. Like
I think so. Yeah.
outside of, I'm trying to think of a belt that looks better in black. The IWGP belt looks really good black because the IC one is white.
Right.
Red is an atrocious color for a championship strap. Shit looks like a McDonald's toy if it's on a red belt, but that's just my opinion.
We had a red belt once. We could say that. We had two.
Red strap. Yeah, blue like SmackDown looks bad. Yeah. I think white just looks really, really good.
It does. It's clean. It looks good on everybody. White.
As long as it's clean. Now, when it gets dirty, and then it's bad. You need to make sure you keep it.
Well,
fresh.
We just spent 5 minutes talking about someone who didn't win. Taya was the winner.
Yeah, I figured that.
Taya, congratulations.
I mean, her gear is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. The Captain Hook one really sold it for a lot of people, it seems like.
Yeah.
And also, she has her own clothing line now. Go check that out. But also, I mean, it just makes sense. Every time she goes out there, if it was when she was doing kind of the 90s look right after the Valkyrie thing and after Johnny Impact thing, to now where she's, I don't know, Lucha Royalty, I guess. She's just great. And she does always have some kind of legit. She puts money into that. She's
not one of those people who wears the same thing every single time.
There you go, Max. You'll never see her on Impact Plus or Impact Twitch with the same outfit. All right. This one's really fun. I'm excited to give this one out and see the result. It's the Golden Tongue Award, the best person on the mic. Who do you give the mic to and know that, oh shit, this is going to be good? The three that were nominated, I'm sure you could probably guess them. Do you want to? I don't know if Max, you saw these. Do you want to take a guess?
No, Sammy, I feel like has to be on there.
Okay, Sammy is on there. Yep. Okay. Max, if you have another one, go for it.
I'm trying to think who else. See, I like Moose on the mic, but
he's gotten better.
He's like I like him, but I don't think he's great. He's just someone that I enjoy.
I'll tell you, Rohit Raju, which I think they gave him the mic finally, and now he's doing his thing past that Sun lyric. And Ethan Page.
Okay, so I was saying, was Eli Drake? When did he officially leave? Was he? Was it this year? Or was it
Mania week last year?
Yeah.
Okay, I was trying because with Corona, like all the years things, this whole year has been like I don't remember like what was 2019 and what was 2020.
Why isn't AJ nominated for a Golden Globe Award this year? I don't understand.
Well, let's be realistic. AJ's never going to be nominated for Best on the Mic ever.
No, ever. So the winner, I think rightfully so. I think this is easily debatable between those three, but the winner is Ethan Page. All ego, Ethan Page won. He's this year's Golden Tongue. I can't argue with that. Anytime he has the opportunity to talk, you let him talk. I see you shaking your head. Are you saying no, Craig?
Oh no, he's great. For one of the best. Like, he's a real heel. I can heal it up really well.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like cutting a promo and making you like fully believe it, I think only this year he's really come into it. Like he's about to show what he can really do as a make you believe what he's saying. But Sami Callihan on the mic is from day one.
Yeah,
makes you believe it.
Yeah,
but maybe people voted.
But it's also, you got to think about this now. Sometimes you take stuff for granted. Sammy's been good since day one. Ethan has really developed and come into his own on this year. So maybe he ran the hot, the hot streak into it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Sammy to me is like, for anybody who watches basketball, like Jordan or LeBron. Like he's so good on the mic that there comes a point where you can't just give you almost get like it's just you become, I guess, normalized with how good he is that you always expect him to be a 9 or a 10 every time he steps out there. So it's just kind of what it is. Whereas when you have other people who, like you said with Ethan Page, coming into his own, you go from, he's grown so much, he's so good now that it stands out more than Sammy did.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah,
and who knows, when next year Sammy randomly wins, because he's going to always be that good. So if someone drops off, he's still going to be the leader, no matter what. Because I think he's still tied here and could have won this. So
EC3 also good with his one promo that he cut. Unfortunately, I don't think he did enough work. And Eli Drake left in June of 2019. I didn't know it had been that long since that man was gone.
Yeah.
June. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
When did
him
and his tiny little knee pads
and falling over the rope?
That was and what was it a nose ring that he had too?
It was the Nike or the thing to help your breathing.
I still remember, it was like, what?
Oh, so bad. Yeah. Oh, we obviously know he's never going to win a New Gear Who Dis award. We know it.
No. Not at all.
Tiny boots. Oh man. All right, so we have 2 more awards. Doing pretty well on time. That's good. The next one is my favorite because I just want to say it. It's the Jingle Jangle Award. The Nonsensie, the Jingle Jangle Nonsensie, which is all together from the moment their music hits to the moment they get to the ring. Who has the best entrance and impact? Who has that jingle jangle that makes you excited? I just love saying it. The top 3. I think you could probably guess the 3 on here. Well, actually, you know what? Sammy didn't make it, and I'm very disappointed on that.
Really? I was gonna put Sammy on there.
No, I'll give you a hint. It's 2 women, 2 knockouts, and one male wrestler.
Really? Okay, because I would have said for me. And see, I'm weird because music gets me excited. So like when Motor City Machine Guns theme hits, like I get excited about that. They could walk out in potato sacks and I'd be like, oh, it's Motor City. Like I'm letting you know when Get Ready to Fly hit, when Get Ready to Fly hit, I almost cried, even though I knew that it wasn't going to be AJ that walked out of that tunnel. I still got emotional when that song hit, and had it been AJ, music is what does it for me. So 2 man, Taya probably has to be one of them.
No.
See,
yes, it's a great entrance. I agree with you on both.
Rosemary,
of those. Sammy for sure. It's Taya for sure.
Too Young.
Real quick, were the potato sacks they come out? Are they flesh colored, Max? Are they all one?
No, those are bodysuits. That's what the Johnsons wear. Is a flesh colored bodysuit, not a potato sack.
Oh, God. Okay. So here we go. Craig, do you want to jump in? Can you know any of the 3?
Craig froze, or he's thinking. Nope.
I mean,
I can't tell if he's deep in thought or if he's freezing. He's like,
all right, so
hey, do you want to tell us? The mannequin challenge. So is Rosemary one of them?
Yes, it's
Sue Young one of them.
Yep. And someone we already mentioned who already won an award. No,
can't be.
No, he didn't. No, I'm sorry. Taya won that award. Yep, Moose is the other one. Yep.
Moose, okay.
Yep. So we have Moose, Rosemary, and Sue Young, and I'm not botching it because I don't know, but Moose was the winner.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I would have thought it would have. See, Rosemary or Sue Young would have been the one that I would have put.
Look, I love all 3 of them, and I love obviously Sammy's the most. But when Sue Young and they've redone it to where that is choreographed beautifully. The lighting, the song, just everything that goes on in that entrance. Oh, beautiful. Now, so she's honorable mention for me. Rosemary, it's Rosemary. That's wonderful. Always great. But Moose has really stepped up. I'm not a big fan of the that at the beginning.
I think that.
It doesn't. You love it?
Love it.
I just don't think it.
When they added that, it topped it off.
Okay. See, for me, it doesn't flow as nice. It feels like parts. But I do like the presentation. You feel it's a big deal when he opens the robe and there's it's good shit. So congratulations to Moose from the Coos. There we go.
In 2021, it'll obviously be Kenny Omega and the Cleaner Girls coming out. They'll be the ones who are nominated because that entrance.
Yeah, you know who the fucking Cleaner Girls will be? It'll be like what's her name, Allie, and all the people who don't get a chance to shine on it.
Allie was on AEW this week, I think.
What was she this week?
I think it was her in the background jumping up and down when what's his face and the other dude were getting beat up.
What a waste. All right. So here's our last award, our last Nonsensie of the year, and maybe to some the most important because it transcends into 2021. New Year's Baby. Who is gonna have the best 2021? There were a lot of different votes for this. A lot of people saying look out for Jake something, who's cousin Jake. I agree with that. A lot of people, and the three most nominated, and I'll kind of go into that, is Madman Fulton, one of the final three, which I think is a good one to pick, even though Ace and him have been gone for quite a little bit. So there's something going on there, and I think we'll see it unfold rather soon, unless I'm missing something. Tasha and Kiera, which I don't know if they
won or were they two
together because they're in the finals for those.
They should win it.
They're gonna win.
I think
they're gonna win.
They're great.
I hope so. If it wasn't Rosemary and Taya, I'm happy it's our first two original picks. So
it should have been Sue Young and Susie.
Ah, right. Yeah, she just turns around and just one little way of shooting.
They do like a camera cut. It's a different person standing there. Like, what the fuck?
And Chris Bay was the last one nominated.
I would say Chris Bay would be my pick.
Bro, not only has his music always been dope, his wrestling's always been dope. His gear now fits his. They're putting money into this kid.
He's phenomenal.
He just went to New Japan. He's coming back. Chris Bay's someone to look out for. And the winner of it is Chris Bay. He's the New Year's Bay. He's on another level.
Bay is Bay. Simple as.
Bay is Bay.
Bay
At
is
the end
Bay.
of the day, rhyming unintentionally, I think him, Ace, originally said Trey and Ace, but obviously Trey's gone.
Trey ain't making
I think Chris Bay and Ace Austin can be not the Raven and Dreamer, obviously, but maybe they can become the next version of Daniels and AJ. Like that group that's always there, kills it every time they go out. I guess our version of, I don't want to say it, but Orton and Cena, that vibe of, you could pick it up anywhere. It's that next step for them, I think. And congratulations to Chris Bay on that. Is there any shockers for you guys in our awards here?
Well, Tessa not winning Grinch of the Year is really the only.
No, I think that's a fair list. I mean,
so
there are a few that maybe could have gone either way. Gear could have gone to anyone. Well, not anyone, but there's a good list of 5-6 people who could have gone.
Wasn't going to the Rascals. Tell you that.
And
I want to give a shout out. I know this isn't a thing. Sorry to interrupt you, Craig, but I want to get your comments on it too because I know we've bantered on what went down a little bit about it. Triple XL. If we had a up and comer, not best, who's going to have the best 2021, but who's going to take that next step into relevancy? I think Triple XL is on that way. Their intro to their gear to now their form, they're gelling better, and now, well, he's in jail. But you know what I mean? Like they're headed towards something good, and I want to shout out them because I think they deserve it. Yeah. They've done a lot of work this year. But do you agree with that?
They should be, but I mean, the booking's really inconsistent. How are we supposed to believe that these two are big, giant behemoths who can't be knocked down, but they lose to Machine Guns, for instance? They lose to the Rascals on several occasions. I can't go on all day about it. They need to book them better as monsters.
Yeah, but I think that's the key. I think the key with them is going to be letting them slowly develop and put them in front of our eyes, because according to us, we saw AC alone. We saw Larry D alone. They're now forming a tag team in real life, let alone kayfabe. So I think they just need time to build that resume within the fans' minds. You can't just kind of throw them out. Could they have thrown them out there like Tozar and Rakar or whatever the damn people are named there?
And just make them, the
make them just big
Legion
monsters.
of Doom 2.0 or whatever they're called.
Right, but if you have Motor City Machine Guns, who have been in the game for almost 20 years, and 15 of those together or something like that, I would think they'd win.
Yeah, I think it's rough. Like when you put a team together, especially when they're not tag team specialists, when they go up against guys like the Machine Guns, like they should lose at first because they're learning how to be a tag team. Like that's why you see great tag teams, and I mean Motor City Machine Guns, the Good Brothers, whatever, Dax, Hard Johnson, and Clock, Knock, McStevenson, whatever the hell their names are, the Revival. Craig quit. He didn't apparently like Cock, Knock Johnson, or whatever the hell their names are. But those guys, as much as I joke about their horrible names, they're phenomenal tag team wrestlers, and that's why that's why they win, is because of their ability to be a tag team. It's not because of their size. It's not because they're stronger than everybody. They're great tag team wrestlers, and I think that's why I agree. You have to build these guys up slowly, because you can't just have them come in and say, "Oh yeah, they're monsters right off the bat." I think building them slowly is the better storyline, and it's the smarter way to do things. The WWE would stick them together and say these guys are monsters, and they watch them just crush everybody. But building them up
the next week,
but building them up and watching them go through the struggles and learn to be a tag team is a smarter way to do things.
So I think that's one of the more important things, and we'll let Craig back in on this. That Impact has done the course of the new management, which is they're building up depth within the characters. They're investing within the characters' story compared to investing in them as champions. Because when you do that and you put out a good package and let it, take your time and let it sizzle and simmer, you're creating an entity compared to making them need the belt to make them that entity.
Correct.
So I think they're doing that with a lot of people that they invest in, and unfortunately they didn't full circle do it with the Rascals. But Craig, closing remarks on that?
Yeah, I think Triple XL, like I said, their entrance is phenomenal. Their gear is getting to a great point now. Larry D looks incredible at Final Resolution. They're trimming down, looking in great shape. It just boost them up and treat them like a great team.
What I would like to see is if this AEW invasion, vice versa, happens, that someone comes to Impact like they're going to invade, and we just throw Triple XL out there. That would be a defining moment, that they step from the back of the roster, who's all together, the back of the room, and they're the first ones at the front line. Now we're talking, and maybe there's going to be some of that. But I would love to see Triple XL maybe win the titles this year. That'd be really cool. All right, guys.
Real quick, one thing I want to say that we had talked about before that popped into my head when we were talking about Sami Callihan, somebody that he reminds me of, not in the like who he is type thing, but is the Undertaker, in the sense that he's constantly reinvented himself, but he's someone that never needed the belt to be a star. Like, you could put him into storylines that had nothing to do with the belt, and people would still be interested because of the character. And I feel like that's where Sami is now, with the fact that he's someone that you could give him a storyline with Chris Bay, and it could have nothing to do with any Impact title, and it's going to get people involved because that's the type of person that he is.
Yeah, I think a lot of that happens with more of those people who like kind of transcend that reality to, you know, fiction kind of ordeal.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, Undertaker, Sting,
The Repo
Cactus
Man.
Jack, the Repo Man, Johnny Swinger, those kind of people.
They just
Well, they don't.
transcend.
But they transcend. But no, really though, they don't need the belt to make them. Belt sometimes needs them to be made. So, with that being said, we'll ring the bells of, I don't know if we have sound effects. I don't know what we have. But it's the end of 2020 for us. Thank God in some ways, but thank you for watching and sticking with us and coming back and forth. And we're here. We have a new format. Like we said, it's going to be similar to this. It'll be every Saturday night, 7:30 live.
Starting when?
Chat. What?
Starting when?
I don't know. We got to pick. 2021. We have to decide our schedule. That's what we're going to talk about in a second, off camera.
Okay.
But we'll decide. We'll have monthly specials as well. Make sure if you don't already follow Misery Eater 101, that is Cody, who does our shows on Tuesdays. Make sure you follow. We got Ashley Rose Nova. I made her intro and it kept auto correcting to Amber because I have a friend named. Well, you know, I have a friend named Amber, and I was like, but yes, Ashley Rose Nova's there. We're gaining the team, building our foundation, and you're going to see a lot from us this coming year, and some stuff that's out of the wrestling world as well. So thank you for being on board prior to all the new stuff we're about to do, and I hope you stick with us for that as well. I'll let you guys say goodbye, and we'll go from there.
Later, everybody.
Okay. There you go.
Short, simple, and to the point.
There you go. I'm the
See you all
talk.
next.
Yeah, see y'all next year, guys.
Yeah,
Make sure you
next
check out
year.
the Fall Classic. The second half of the Fall Classic, as well as the results, will air next week at some point.
If we can find it.
We're going to retape it. Keep voting. See you guys later.
Later, everybody.
Oh, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.